What's going on YouTube? West Hobbies RC. So today I wanted to do a build review of the SAB Tortuga. I've seen a couple flight videos of these online. I've seen talking about Bungie launching them, a couple threads, but I have yet to see a video out there of actual after the build review. Explain what you had to do, what was done, what your setup is, how you ran everything. So there's a gentleman named Dad's RC Hanger, great YouTube channel. He's a subscriber as well, and he bought a Tortuga I think a year ago when I first found his channel. He has not built it yet, but him and another one of his subscribers asked, how you do this, or if I could make a review video on it, and I told him I would. So this is for you guys, in particular, and for everybody else who would like to know about it. So I have personally built 13 of these airplanes. I have done 13 Tortugas. 2 of them were for me. The rest were for other people. This is my second airframe. My first one I lost in a crash after about 100 flights. This one has a few flights on it, not very many. It don't get flown much. Really just sits on the shelf. If you know anything about the Tortuga or pictures, you will notice that I do not have canards. And I will go into that in a little bit of why I do not run the canards. I have flown it both ways. Not my personal, I built it without canards from the beginning, both of them. But everybody else's, I did it both ways. Some guys liked them, some guys didn't like them. I personally don't like them. And I'll explain to that in a little bit. But this is going to be just going over the airplane. If you guys are looking at buying one, fantastic airplane for the price. Super strong. It's a fiberglass ATRX vacuum form build. Very strong. Carbon fiber canopy. This thing is not slow either. I've upwards of around 210 miles per hour is the fastest pass I've got out of it so far. Of course, I am running they call for a 5x5 prop. Now we'll start with the motor which you cannot see it. Even if I try to focus down here. No, you can't see the motor at all. But we're running a carbon prop, APC 525625. We're running the X-Nova 2200 kV motor, the recommended motor for now. But there's just something that I would really, about knock you guys over, I would really like to touch on. Okay, so if you'll notice, there is upthrust, not much, few degrees. Let's try to level this out. Here we go. So we have about 3 degrees of upthrust. So in the manual, when you build the Tortuga, they will call for 3 degrees of down thrust. Now, the motor is mounted in with a carbon fiber ring. So we'll see if we can focus on this. Okay, so if you can see that, 3 bolts, carbon fiber ring. There's a ring that glues inside, so now you have to sand the inside of this thing is heavy. So you have to sand the inside. In there is, you can see the epoxy down and under here. So this is the fiberglass. So you need to always sand this real good. I scuffed it up with some 120 grit sandpaper. Then you also want to make sure you clean it really good. Rubbing alcohol, clean it really good. Same thing with the carbon fiber ring. Sand it all the way around really good. You're going to want to measure. The instruction manual will tell you the millimeters top and bottom. Now all I did was flip them. So it would give me up thrust, so the motor is sitting up instead of down thrust like the manual calls. Now I'm going to explain why. But first, I used 30-minute epoxy and glued the motor mount in. Super strong, no issues there. Like I said, I've built 13 total. They've all been built the same way. As long as you sand the fiberglass and you sand the carbon fiber, you will have a great bond and you will have a very strong motor mount. Now the motor is pulled out by 3 2mm Allen heads, 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. You could always shim these. You can really mount this anywhere. I do it with the 2 on the bottom and the 1 on the top. So if I need to add more up thrust, I can just put a washer under each bottom and shim the motor up or down. So the reason why you want to add up thrust, it is a pusher. Okay, so it's a pusher style wing. Now I have built way too many wings over my life and been flying. Fun jets, diamond dust, you name it, I've done it. Scratch builds, big, little, super fast, super slow. Done all different kinds of deltas. I am a delta fanatic. I really like flying wings. I don't care the manufacturer, the make, the model, the size. If it's a pusher aircraft, just like a tractor aircraft. On a tractor aircraft, thrust angles are important on all airplanes. On a tractor aircraft, you need down thrust and right thrust. Now, the degrees amounts are different per airplane, but you need to have some sort of down thrust and right thrust depending on the airplane. Some airplanes are just down thrust, no right thrust. Pusher wing, you want up thrust for the main reason of you want to push the back down, the nose up. So as you apply throttle, you want it to squat the tail, pick the nose up. Now with the proper amount, you can see it perfectly right there. With the proper amount, you will not notice it at high speed. Full throttle will not. If you have too much up thrust when you punch it, it will climb. If you have too much down thrust on a tractor, when you punch it, it will die. That's how you can tell if you have too much thrust angle. Now the reason why is because you want to push it down. Now I do hand launch these. I hand launch all my airplanes. I don't like bungee launching. A lot of people will, that's another story, another thing we're not going to get into right now, but a lot of people will, are death-defied, scared of hand launching a pusher prop airplane. If you don't know what you're doing, you can't hurt yourself. I've hand launched hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pusher prop airplanes, from everything from slow flyer to ridiculously 10,000 watt power airplanes. All I do is speed with airplanes and scale. I like speed. So the reason why people are scared to hand launch these is because your hand is down here, and when you launch, if you're not quick, you can run your hand across the prop. I've seen countless videos and accidents of this. So I hand launch mine. You just have to be quick. You have to follow through with it. When you launch, you have to, curl the wrist. You got to get that wrist curl down. So when you launch, curl the wrist, follow through. Your hand will miss every time. I have yet to been hit by a prop in thousands of hand launches. But anyway, so up thrust, getting off topic here, sorry. Up thrust, when you go to hand launch, the up thrust will push the back down, will push the nose up, and it'll allow the aircraft to leave your hand with an upward angle, and it will continue to climb as you apply throttle. Down thrust, like the manual calls for. When you go to hand launch, you're full throttle, it's pushing. What's it doing? It's pushing the back up, the nose down. So as it leaves your hand, it's going to go nose in. First thing. Okay, so now servo-wise, so like I said, I built quite a few of these. My last one hit the ground at about 190 miles an hour. So I have the old servos. I am really weird. I don't like to use certain same things. Anyways, different story. So these are KST X10 servos. These are the recommended servos that they call for. They're about $40 a piece, metal cased, really good. KST, we run them in helicopters, great servos. So you want to run KST servos. Now I left this all together for this video purpose. So as you can tell, short servo arm. It'll tell you in the manual, you want to keep them short, and the reason I'll show you in a second, but short servo arm. The metal clevis goes to the servo arm. The ball link goes to the control surface. Sorry, can't think today. I cut the heat shrink off of this so I could see you guys, so I can show you guys, but this, I usually cover this whole thing in heat shrink just to give it a good look. I'll show you on the airplane. The reason why I'm showing you this is because you have servo covers and you can't see them on the actual airplane right now. So you have two of these guys on the elevons, and that's all the servos you have in the airplane. If you're running canards, you're going to have a servo up here. I'll show you that in a second. And it comes through down here. Now, this is where I run my antennas out. I have one on both sides. So we have an antenna there, and we have an antenna here. Now they're just clear taped to the side of the airplane, keeps them out of the way. Now inside, if you can see this, so inside we have a piece of nylon push rod material. And that is just because this is a brass insert. I did not want the antenna to be shaving against the brass insert. I do overbuild my airplanes. I know a lot of people say you don't have to do this. This is pointless, but this is just the way I do it. So that stops the antenna from ever shaving against the brass. It sticks out about 1 millimeter past the brass. That allows the antenna to come around. I did the same on both sides. So that's just how I ran the antennas. So here's the servos. This is why I was showing you the servo itself. It's covered with a nice carbon fiber cover. Again, it's heat shrinked in black. You got your ball link on the clevis, or on the control horn. and your clevis is done inside of here, you'll want to set, I can't show you because the servo cover, I'm not going to take them off, but you have to also glue the servo pocket inside. So you're going to do the same thing like you do with the motor mount. You're going to want to sand the inside of the wing really good, 120 grit sandpaper, and clean it really good. Sand the fiberglass mount, same way, epoxy it into place. Go ahead and mount your servo. Stick your servo in there before you ever glue it in place. Stick your servo down in there, mark where it's got to go. It explains all this in the instructions. But the one thing I got to say is make sure you sand the fiberglass. Super, super important. Notice I chipped it up a little bit there. Oh well, super important. But as you can see, we got both done. Now, while we have the airplane upside down, I used a little bit of grip tape for a skateboard. I trimmed it, cut it to fit inside here. This just gives me some, because I have found it is really hard to hold this airplane. These should have been a little bigger, a little deeper. So you don't have a lot of holding grip. It's a heavy airplane, weighs about 3.5 pounds, ready to fly. So with the grip tape, that allows you to get a nice and strong grip on it, and lets hand launches are super easy, okay? So I'll go ahead and show you the battery. So I like, for all my high-powered stuff, I have been having really good luck with these Trinergy graphene packs. Great battery, 3,000 milliamp, 75C. I have pulled over 300 amps out of this battery in bursts. Great battery. So I run these on all my speed planes. Again, 6S 3000, running XT90 connector. Now, I don't like BECs. Internal BECs, external BECs, I like things simple. So we run a simple 2-cell, 1250 milliamp LiPo. There you guys go. This is the receiver pack. You don't have to run this exact brand. You don't have to run a receiver pack. You could do whatever you guys want to run the BEC running. Whatever makes you happy and whatever works. So now, get the camera here. Okay. So, I am running the Spectrum AR6270T, which is a carbon fused receiver, telemetry, which I don't have hooked up right now, but I will coming soon. But I do run the GPS sensor, which goes in the nose where that Velcro is. My tape is coming loose. So I use clear packing tape, and I run this entire edge. I cut it so it doesn't go past this lip, and I run this entire edge all the way down, up through here, back around, all through here, as you can see. Same thing up the other side. And then I use a piece of clear, which you can't see, but I use it right here. And the reason for this is for the canopy to slide on and off. I don't like marks. I have found that it is a carbon fiber canopy, so it will mark up the orange. The orange marks up very, very easily. So, sorry guys, I finally figured out how to make this camera focus. My hands are shaking, trying to make this smooth. Anyways, back to it. So, now I put a piece of fuel line tubing here. Again, I overbuild. This is just so none of the wires can chafe on the fiberglass whatsoever. It's stupid stuff, but it's what I do. Now you can see we only have 3 servo plugs. Where my receiver is mounted is where the canard servo would go. And where I run my antennas through is where the canards would hook up to the mechanism, would go right here. Now as you can see down here, this is a piece of this fiberglass material that came off my crashed one, and I made a little second battery tray. This is where my receiver pack goes. It slides in from back here. It fits snug and tightly. I have to cut this. I've cut the zip tie off. I'm going to be running a battery strap here soon. But anyways, I had the battery zip tied in place. I'll be running a strap so I can take it in and out, because I don't like to leave charge or anything like those in the airplane. Now my battery. Because I run a LiPo in the front down here and my receiver's in the front, I have weight in the front. So my battery goes right back here. This is where it fits for perfect CG. Now, of course, XT90, we are running a Castle Creations 100 amp 8S ESC. We have 5mm. Let me see if I can get you guys down in there. No, I can't. So, but we have 5mm bullet connectors from the motor to the ESC. You guys still can't see it, sorry. But we have 5mm bullet connectors, motor to ESC. Everything has been cut and shortened, just like my helicopter builds, guys. Everything is clean as I possibly can make it. So we have the wires run up through Elevon servos come up through here. They're here. We have a servo plug here, and you'll notice this plug is so I can plug in the ESC to the programmer, and I can get on the Castle software. It's on Velcro, so I can take it in and off, or on and off, sorry. And then from this line, I disconnect the red wire, and so the BEC is disconnected from the receiver. But, I mean, this is the SAB Tortuga. It is a fantastic airplane. It flies great. It is really fast for a bone stock recommended setup. It flies slow great. It flies fast great. You guys will really enjoy this airplane for you that are building it or are about to build it, like Dad's RC Hangar. I can't wait to see videos of yours. I will have videos of this soon on the channel. I just haven't had time to get to the field with work, but that's going to change very soon. So again, carbon fiber canopy, and I'll touch on this real quick before we end the video off. So the canopy is going to slide forward first. So you want to slide the canopy forward until it clips down in the back. And then I found if you hold the back down, back here, and push, it slides perfect every time. That is the easiest, simplest way to get the canopy on and off. Slide the canopy forward. You can pick up, pull off like this, put it on, sit down, push it forward, and that's what that tape is for. So now you'll know why I put clear tape here, is so the canopy can slide on this and not scratch it all up. But there you guys go. That is my overview of the SAB Tortuga. Great airplane, fast airplane. If you guys are building one, enjoy it. Can't wait to hear about it. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and have a great day.